I'm Nicole and welcome to my channel, Heart Disease Diaries. Today I want to give you an update on my trip to Colorado and a lot of things that have happened along the way. So please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and pass this video along to anybody that you think it might be helpful to. Thanks so much. So right now I am in my hotel bed and I have no makeup on. My hair is a mess. I'm exhausted. The trip has not gone expected, to say the least, and I just kind of want to break it down for you. And yeah, so as you know, I had the highest hopes for this trip. I even, had some dress options that I shared with you guys, and thank you again for voting for which dress you thought would be best. I was really excited to watch my friends get married, and one of my friends that was getting married, we met on an Amtrak in 2015, and I was his first American friend, and so he's very special to me. And he moved into the town I live in Illinois when he got a job there at the university, and so we reconnected then, and I got to meet his fiance. So he's super special to me, and I wanted to be part of his big day. So that is why I booked the trip, and it was also symbolic of me leaving behind the past, 2 years of these small recurrent strokes and just my chronic illness. So I was ready for adventure. There were a lot of things that just did not go as planned. So I had planned the trip from Wednesday, December 7th through Sunday, December 11th. And I had booked everything through Priceline, and I got a really good deal. I got plane tickets, I got a rental car, and I got a hotel room. And my goal was to, explore Colorado, the Rocky Mountains, Garden of the Gods, go on some hiking trails, go thrift shopping, and go to the wedding, of course, and to the wedding reception. But things did not go as planned. There were a lot of mishaps along the way, but as I will share, a lot of wonderful people that really helped me when I was in distress. The first mishap that happened was everybody boarded the plane, but then the plane kept getting delayed and taking off, and the pilot was like, "Sorry folks, we're waiting for the logbook or something." And he said it should only be about 20 more minutes. And then about 45 minutes of sitting there, he said that the plane was not safe to drive. So we needed to get off the plane and get on a new plane. So we got off the plane. A lot of people were huffing and puffing, and when I was kind of in the middle of the plane, so it was like, it took a while to get out, and then we went to a new gate and kind of waited. So in the interim of waiting for the new flight, I called the rental company and I said, "Hey, my flight has been like 2.5 hours delayed. I just want to make sure I'm still going to be able to pick up my rental car." And the guy was super rude. He's like, "No, you're late. What time are you going to get here?" And I said, "I don't know. Like, I think maybe by 5 or 6 p.m. He said, "That's too late. We're closed. You can't get a rental car." And I was really panicking, and I said, I need this rental car to get to my hotel. That's about 30 minutes away. So he was just really not being cooperative. So I called someone else. She was really nice. She's like, "Let me talk to my manager." And I said, "Okay, but I'm about to board this new plane." So it was just a hot mess. But long story short, got on this plane. It was safe. Then we get there. We land around, 6. It's at the Denver airport. I'm trying to call to see if I can still get the rental car. I'm trying to send her my ID, my driver's license, my car insurance information while walking through the airport to get my luggage that I checked in. And it's the Denver airport, and it is super confusing. We had to take a shuttle to get to our checked in bags. And so I was able to do that, and she picked me up, and that was great. And I was so exhausted. It was like 6:30. I had only slept 2 hours that day. I just wanted to rest. On the way to the hotel, I cried because I was just kind of frustrated. And so I wanted to go to bed early, get up the next day, and go grocery shopping and get some food for the hotel fridge and just go. And maybe go on a little bit of a hike. So Thursday morning was actually pretty good. I woke up, I was in much better spirits and I felt more secure and stable because I had the rental car. I had a little bit more sleep, and I went to get the free breakfast that was offered at the 2-star hotel. And then I, put my sunscreen on, put hiking clothes on, and I went to the grocery store, got some things, put them in the fridge at the hotel, and then left. And I went to West Lake Trail, and I saw these adorable little creatures they had these little burrowed holes in the ground, and they were screaming at me, and they would pop up and scream at me, and then they would pop back down into their holes. And I walked a little bit on that trail, and I took some pictures. Then I drove to El Dorado Canyon State Park, and it was so beautiful, but it was so windy, and it was really frigid because of the wind, and there were parts of the ground that were solidified in ice, and it was just so windy that debris was blowing into my eyes, and even though I had glasses on. And I was actually really scared of the wind because I'm by myself traveling, and I didn't want to fall into the water or fall off of an edge of like a cliff or something. So I stayed pretty low, but I was able to walk around a little bit and get some stunning pictures, and it was really nice. So then I went back towards my hotel, and I got Jimmy John's for lunch, and I just chilled out in the hotel until the wedding at 6 o'clock. I did a shower, a bath, and I relaxed. Then I got a call from my friend. He's like, "Nicole, where are you?" And I was like, "I'm at the hotel." And he said, "Well, were you at the wedding?" And I said, "The wedding, it starts at 6, right? I'm going to be there at 6. And he said, "Oh no." And he kind of panicked, and he said, "I'm so sorry. I think I forgot to send you the wedding invitation." So I didn't get the wedding invitation. I just got the reception invitation. And this whole time I was thinking that I RSVP'd to both. And it's my fault too, because I should have looked more carefully at what I RSVP'd to. But he's like, I was like, "You know what? It's okay. I'm really happy for you guys. I just want to celebrate with you at the reception." He said, "We're running really late, so I don't want you to wait by yourself because you won't know anybody. We'll call you when we're on our way." So I was able to kind of slowly get ready, and I went to Dollar Tree beforehand, and I saw and then I went to the reception, and it was gorgeous. And there was a lot of family and friends there from India, and just, Indian culture was abound, and it was just absolutely stunning. I left a little bit early, around 9ish, because I was getting kind of tired, and then I went to bed. Then Friday morning, I woke up and I was super groggy, but I was really excited for adventure. So I had planned Friday to go to the Rocky Mountains, and then Saturday I wanted to go to Garden of the Gods, and then also go thrift shopping afterwards. So before I went to the Rocky Mountains, I finally got my phone programmed to the Bluetooth in the rental car, and I was able to listen to music and just cruise. The Rocky Mountains are about an hour and 20 minutes from my hotel, so it's a really stunning drive. I got to see mountains the closer I got, and it was just gorgeous. The weather was nice. So 30 minutes from the Rocky Mountains, I went around this kind of sharp curve, and I was listening to music. I was so happy, so excited. I was only 30 minutes away, and all of a sudden something either hit the side of my car or run into something. Some sort of huge impact hit the right side of the vehicle, and then I immediately just slowed down the car, and I drove along that sharp curve as long as I could to find a place where I could pull off to the side, because it immediately felt like my tire was flat. When I was able to, I pulled over on the edge of the road, and I just put the car in park, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, I have a flat tire. And I was thinking, I have no idea what happened. And I was trying to, think about anything I saw, but I didn't see anything in the road. There was no animal, no person, nothing. Then all of a sudden, someone drove by me on the left side, and I looked, it was this woman, and she had a baseball cap. She looked around my age, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "I think I have a flat tire." And she's like, "Well, I'll stay with you until someone comes for help. Let's look at it." So she kindly pulled her car behind mine, parked, got out, and I got out of my car. She's like, "Did you see that rock?" And I was like, "No, what rock?" She's like, there was a huge rock back there. She's like, I'm pretty sure that's what you hit or it fell into your car. And she's like, let's go check it out. I'm going to show you. So we walked a little bit of a ways and then around that sharp curve. And surely enough, there was a huge rock. Now, the pictures don't really do it justice, but it was pretty big. And I think that with the speed that I was going at, 30 to 40 miles per hour, I feel like the impact really did cause some damage. But she said, she's a local, and she said, I recommend you take a picture of it. So I took a few pictures of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. I can't believe that hit my car. So after we looked at the rock, we went back to my SUV rental, and the tire was so flat. And I was like, there is absolutely no way that I can drive this. So she was so kind. She waited with me. We were really deep into this secluded wooded area, and there was that huge kind of mountain thing, that sharp turn. There's really no reception. So I'm walking back and forth, kind of pacing, trying to find reception. And as I'm walking back and forth, these cars are just flying by. And I'm thinking to myself, thank you, God, for keeping me and my new friend safe, because where the rock hit was a really sharp edge. And if my car wouldn't have moved past that, I would have been rear-ended, and so it wasn't safe. So I'm trying to find reception. She's waiting with me. And I called the rental company and I told them what happened. I had paid for roadside assistance with my car rental. So she said, well, we can get someone to tow it, or we can get someone to, put the spare tire on, but it's going to be about 2 hours. So me and the girl, we kind of talked throughout all this, and we waited like 2.5 hours for somebody to come. And she was so kind. And when I was with her, I felt at ease. I felt safe. She was really funny. We really connected. She told me about breeding her Newfoundland. She told me about just the area that she had lived in. She told me about the wildlife. She told me about the beautiful mountains. And she was just an amazing human being with a beautiful soul. And I just feel like I'm really thankful that I met her and that she helped me, because she was so selfless. She stayed with me the entire time. We were outside or we were sitting in the rental car. And it just took the rental car company a long time to do anything. So she called her husband, and he was a firefighter. So he came, and a couple other firefighters came, and they put the spare tire on. And when they put the spare tire in the back of the SUV, I told my new friend, her name's Alyssa, I said, hey, why did the tire, why is it all of a sudden inflated again? She's like, oh, and she lifted the tire up, and she noticed that the rim was cracked. And she's like, why does it look like that? I'm like, we should ask one of the guys. So we asked her husband and the guys, and they're like, this is a really serious issue, and you need a new rim. So the rim was really cracked. So they were really kind. They put the spare on. They said, it's a little flat. So what we're going to do, we're going to drive, and you can follow us to where you can fill it up with air. So I followed them. They showed me where I could fill the tire up with air for free. And it was like a body shop, and they made sure that the lug nuts were on tight enough. And then they said, just drive really slow, but go to the closest Ford dealership and see if they can fix this, and see if your rental car company can get you a safer vehicle. So they told me where the closest Ford shop was. I thanked them. I was like, I'm so thankful to meet you, Alyssa. I gave her a hug. I got in the car. I felt really unsteady. But I was driving it. I put the hazards on. I drove it at like 30 miles per hour. Everyone was passing me. And I got to the Ford shop, and I was so worked up that I was shaking a little bit, because I was kind of just thinking about everything that had happened, thinking about that sharp turn and that huge rock. And I was thinking about all the what ifs. What if it would have fallen on my head? What if it would have fallen on the hood of my car? What if it would have totaled my car? And just thinking about all the things, thinking about I didn't have my medication with me, thinking about how hungry I was, thinking about how thirsty, how tired. It had been like 4 hours that I had been out of the hotel, and I was just exhausted. So I got to the Ford shop. I went in, and I walked over to this gentleman on the very right side of the counter, and he said, hi, how are you? And I just started crying. I just started crying. I was like whimpering. I'm like, I'm in trouble. And he was like, it's okay. Just take a deep breath. You're safe. You're in a safe place. I've got all the time. Just collect yourself. It's okay. And he was so patient with me. And so I took a couple deep breaths and I kept crying and I took more deep breaths. And he's like, it's okay. And so I told him what happened. I said, I'm from Illinois. I was driving to the Rocky Mountains 30 minutes away. I hit or a boulder fell on the tire and the tire is flat, but also the rim is broken. And I'm wondering if you guys can just look at it and see if you can fix it. So he was really sweet, really calm. He walked outside with me and I showed him the tire and he's like, whoa. He's like, I want to prepare you that we may not have a brand new rim this exact size in stock, just to prepare you. He's like, but what I want to do is I want to get my manager, I want to have him take a look at it and see if we can at least move that front tire to the back so that you'll be safe and we can inspect it to see if it's safe. So his manager, Chris, came out and he was so nice. He looked at it and he said, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that size in stock and things like that. So I called the rental car. I told him again what happened, that now the rim was cracked. She said, can you drive it to our rental lot and we'll give you a different car? And I said, I don't feel safe driving it, but I can try. And so I told Chris, the manager, I said, the rental company told me to just drive it to their rental company and they can maybe try to get me a different car that's safer. And I could tell on his face that he was a little nervous. He's like, tell you what, why don't we just hoist it up for you, take a look at it, make sure it's safe, and put that front tire in the back and switch those out so that you're safer to drive. He said, the rental company shouldn't let you drive it without it being inspected first. So I want to make sure you're safe. So I was like, thank you so much. And he's like, we won't charge you for it. I was like, thank you so much. And he, went back out, brought the car, they looked at it, and then he came back and he said, that car is not safe to drive. He's like, I don't feel comfortable letting anyone drive that off the lot. I want you to be safe. He said that basically the impact of the rock, I can't remember exactly what he said, but something was out of alignment. He said, so basically when I'm driving, it's steering the other way. So he said, it's just not safe. And he said, I'm going to call the rental company. Me and Josh are going to call the rental company, tell them that they need to give you a new vehicle because that's not safe. And so they called the rental company, and the rental company, I think, gave him a hard time, but they both talked to them. And finally, the rental company said, we're going to give her a rental car. So the rental company called me. They said, we're on our way. We need you to fill the incident report. But the only vehicle we have is a 12-passenger van. And at this point, it was like 4 p.m. in Colorado, and the whole incident with the car had started around 9:30. So I think it had been about 6 hours, and I was just so tired, so hungry, so tired, so hungry. And so I was scared when she said a 12-passenger van. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I tried to fill out the incident report in my phone. It was really difficult to do it, but I was able to do it. And it kept getting delayed when they were going to pick me up in the rental van. So they called me when they got there in the van around 5:30 Colorado time. So I walked outside and there was this huge white van and these two people, and the girl had paperwork. She's like, I need you to sign this. And I was like, okay, can I have a copy of it? She's like, I don't have a copy. She's like, you can take a picture of it, but sign it. So it was dark and it was the parking lot. So I signed it, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what am I signing? How much money is this? And it was so windy. I'm like, the papers, I tried to take a picture of it, blew away. I found it. She held them down. I took a picture. It was just chaotic. And then they left. I got in the van and I was like, I just started crying again because this van is huge. And I am 5'3" and 120 pounds. And I could not reach the pedals and it was dark. I turned the lights on in the van, but I could not see how to adjust the seat. I got on YouTube, I tried to find videos on how to adjust the seat, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I didn't have my Coumadin with me to take, and I want to take it on time. So I was just panicking. I was so hungry and tired. So I sat all the way up in the seat and put my seatbelt on, and I practiced driving a little bit in the parking lot of the Ford service place. And then I put my hotel location in my GPS and I drove. And I was driving really slowly and I was trying to be really careful, but I was crying and I was just scared and I was like praying, thank you God for keeping me safe. Thank you God for putting good people in my life. And at a certain point, I just started singing Taylor Swift songs. I started singing New Year's Day to try to calm me down because I don't want to put myself or anybody on the road in danger. There's already pretty dangerous conditions. You know, this 12-passenger van, I'm really short. The pedals are hard to reach. So I just wanted to get to the hotel. So I got to the hotel and I luckily had leftover Jimmy John's from the day before that I could eat for dinner, and I had some pineapple and I had some raisinets I got at Dollar Tree. And I just called my mom. I told her I was okay, and I called like my friend and I texted some friends, and I started just calling around. I called Priceline because I had purchased a travel insurance plan and I just wanted to see what it covered. I'm really nervous at this point about how much is this going to cost to fix that rental car. And unfortunately, under my insurance plan with Priceline, there wasn't anything for the car. Since I have a Chase credit card, to know if I had rental car insurance through Chase. So I called Chase. She said I do have it. It's for collision. And I told her I needed to file a claim. So I filed a claim. And then I tried to take a bath. And then I tried to just relax and put everything to the side, take a deep breath, and just acknowledge, you know what? Today was absolutely crazy. It was scary. It was unpredictable. But I had amazing people with me. I didn't feel alone the whole time, you know. And what matters is I'm safe no matter how much these damages cost to repair. It's money, my body, and my life are invaluable. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today is Saturday. So because I have that big gargantuan bus, I just don't feel safe driving that around Westminster, around Denver, around Boulder. So I'm just chilling at the hotel and I'm so exhausted and still kind of feeling run down from the adrenaline rush of everything that I'm just chilling. I walked to a thrift store today, which is only like 0.7 miles, so like a 10-minute walk, and I got some gifts for people, and it was just really nice and laid back. And I'm just gonna hang out in my hotel room today, edit some videos, drink my decaf coffee. And I really want to thank the people that were angelic and kind and extended me so much compassion when I was in distress. So Alyssa and her husband and the people that helped me, you know, Alyssa waited with me the whole time before someone fixed the flat tire and put the spare on. And she kept me calm. She made me feel safe. She made me feel secure. It was honestly like being with a friend that I had known for a long time. Her husband fixing the car so selflessly, calling around to see if he knew anyone with a rim, the people that helped him put the spare on, and the people at the Ford dealership. I mean, those guys really went above and beyond to keep me safe. They didn't charge me for inspecting the car, and they told the rental company that it was not safe. And they were really the reason why I have this safe 12-passenger van. So even though things have been crazy, what I've learned from this situation is kindness is ubiquitous, and kindness goes such a long way. One act of kindness to someone can change their day and their entire life. Like, I really feel like the people I met here kept me safe. Like, God forbid something would have happened to me in that rental car. Like, I may not be here, and just having Alyssa with me, having Josh and Chris and Amanda at the Ford shop that checked on me, like, it was amazing. So kindness is ubiquitous. It also taught me to really be vigilant and diligent, especially as a woman, with these serious chronic conditions and serious medications. Like, I can't just willy-nilly spontaneously make these trips. Like, I need to take it slow, and I need to look ahead. Like, I really should have looked more at that, wedding invitation. It just, like, when I got the text that I got a wedding invitation, it was just like all so fast and stuff, and I got excited. I got excited and I RSVP'd, and I didn't really look at it. And I also didn't really look into these places that I wanted to hike and take pictures. Like, the Rocky Mountains and Garden of the Gods are absolutely stunning from what I see on Google Photos. But I am from the Midwest. I'm from Illinois. Illinois is so flat. And I am not used to mountain driving. I'm not used to being in the mountains. I am not used to boulders falling. I'm not used to, high altitudes. I'm not. I didn't really research the dangers. And when I was talking to Alyssa, she was telling me about the wildlife that was in the mountains, and that, there's bears, there's mountain lions, and there's coyotes, and there's big owls, all these different things, and that the temperature drops drastically at night, and that it's easy to get lost, So there were all these threats that I didn't even investigate, because all I was thinking about was, I want to get to this wedding, I want to support my friends, and I want to hike. So I really should have been more diligent and vigilant in planning. And I think the last thing I learned is that, I really think it's important to do your research before you travel, and like make sure that you are covered with renter's insurance, and that you are just going to be safe, and that maybe you have a backup plan too. Because I didn't have a backup plan if, God forbid, I hit a boulder or something. I just planned my trip with the best case scenarios that everything would fall into place, but nothing fell into place. So I just learned a lot, but I am so thankful to the kind people that helped me. And I just really am thankful that I'm safe and I'm chilling at the hotel. So tomorrow is Sunday, the 11th, and if everything goes to plan, I'm going to leave my hotel. I'm going to check out of my hotel around 5:30 a.m. and I'm going to take that big bus. I'm going to drive it to the airport van rental. Then they're going to shuttle me to the airport in Denver, and I'm going to leave Denver around 8:30 in the morning, and I'm going to fly to O'Hare, Chicago. I miss you. And yeah, so that's the plan for tomorrow, but I'm just going to chill here at the hotel. I just want to say too, in spite of all this chaos that's happened, I'm still thankful for the trip, and I think it's such a place of privilege to have the strength, the endurance, the energy, the stamina to like go through all of this and be okay. But I'm definitely feeling it. I'm glad I'm resting. I wish there wasn't so many mishaps, because I really want to share good news with you, but I think overall this trip is good, and I don't want to internalize anything bad from it. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.